then went for further studies to the UK, worked there, spent some time in the United States of America, and then back again to the UK. So I represent the University of Wolverhampton, UK. Well, in terms of both teaching and research, I've been active for over 10 years. Both of these go hand in hand. So I'm here to present both those topics as to how research and teaching enable students more deeper learning rather than just surface learning, and for whatever criteria it is done for. I've had various awards for teaching, and I've also had various research grants. Over the last year, I've had around 50,000 UK pounds. In terms of publications, I've got over 45 publications internationally. So you can see how an Indian student born in India can make wonders in a young age. Well, that's enough about me. Let's go into the subject. This presentation, I'll keep up to 10 minutes, that's my hope. What are we looking here into? Use of technology. Over and over in this conference, speakers have suggested technology is an enabler. Yes, and I'm a follower of that. I try to use technology as much as possible to enable the student to learn more effectively. And not only deliver the materials, but also assess them and evaluate them. So for the next 10 minutes, I'm going to talk about how mobile phone was used to deliver certain aspects of the lecture to the students, and how did they receive it, and what did they evaluate. Did they think it was helpful? Did they think it was not helpful? It is the voices from the student's mouth. Well, again, it goes down into a lot of thinking, a lot of planning, which I'll be discussing in the future slides. Just to give you all the whole view of the presentation, I'll start with the introduction. What is mobile learning? Everybody is aware of what is mobile phone, but how can you enhance learning? What was the aim of this research, and what are the objectives, and how it was achieved? To start with, what is mobile learning? Any mobile device that enables learning can be called as mobile learning. It can be amalgamated with e-learning, but it is the mobile device that helps you. And various people in the literature have suggested very positively towards this, and especially Sharpless 2000 have said they could learn in their own context and anywhere across the globe. This project, how was the University of Wolverhampton involved in this project, and how I as an academia should be involved in this? It is a funded project which was looking into short message services, and it was implemented in University of Wolverhampton, and it was one of the first in the UK to take up this initiative. I should emphasize this is a pilot study research project. The aim was, how do students learn, enable them to learn? So what are the things that we as teachers, as a university, how should you equip your staff? How should you equip your students? What should be the various learning methods adopted? And what are the various questions you should pose to the students that enables them further learning, and also evaluate it? This is very important stage, and most of the time was spent here. Who needs to be provided with what information? Yes, the people develop the system, but who's going to use it? The staff and the students. So what information should be given to them? And once that is given, how should that be implemented? And there are various systems in the university. So how should one integrate those various systems to the new system? And whom should you implement it? Especially, as I said, this was a pilot project, so we couldn't implement it throughout the university, but we had to cherry pick why we're doing this for a particular class. And the whole aspect, again and again I'm emphasizing, it is from the student's point of view. And this is where it comes. how should the staff be equipped? How much training should you give? What are the resources you should pump in? What should be the motivation for the staff? What attitude they should have to come into this particular training? Firstly, a half-a-day training session was given to the staff members. General information about the system. What are the pros, what are the cons? Then, how can the mobile phone numbers be incorporated to the new system, both by the student and the staff? And also their various options. This is very important because there were only 3 types: push messages, quiz questions, and text conference. What is a push message? It's just one way. Only the staff can send the message. Quiz questions. Staff can set up the quiz question, but it's interactive. Students have to attempt that question one by one, and they receive the answers for that question, whether it's right, wrong. If right, what is the why is it right, and where they can find additional materials in the lecture notes to go back to verify it and to know more about it. And if it is wrong, why is it wrong? And again, guidance is given. Text conference. Text conference has its limitations. You can't use it for a large classroom. You can use it only for a small classroom. Here, it was suggested not more than 20 students in a class, you could use it. And there was also help procedures provided to the staff. The next one was, before implementing, how do you buy in the students? You can't enforce anything on the students nowadays. They have to buy in to this technology and why they are into it. So it was clearly specified to the students they would not be disturbed any time. And it is only for learning and teaching purpose, nothing else. No exam results, no timetables given out, but only for learning and teaching purpose. And the important thing is to maintain their privacy. No other person apart from the student could see their mobile numbers. Even the tutor cannot see. Even the institutions, nobody is allowed to see. They put in their mobile numbers, and it is up to them to put in the right mobile number. And just as a code, one of the students put his wife's mobile number, and he told that only in the evaluation that it went to him. So it was not our mistake, it was the student's mistake. So there are instances that happens like that. And they're also said about the charges that they incur. Students will be charged at normal rates for the text messages that they reply to. And the important thing is, no messages will be sent between 9 p.m. and 8 a.m. so that there's no intrusion to their private life. And not to discriminate anybody, students who did not have mobile phones, they could opt for email services. And if they are not fascinated or they do not want to, they could always opt out. And it was clearly suggested this is an evaluation project, so they had to fill out a form at the end of the project to evaluate how they felt about this. Implementation. As I said, there were several platforms, software platforms in the university, and 2 main ones. One is called as the eVision and one is called the Pebble Pad. So those 2 were integrated for this system to work. In eVision, students had to put in their mobile phone numbers, whereas the staff had to do all the questions, quizzes, text messages in Pebble Pad. I'm just talking about a slice of cake. I'm not talking about the whole university and how various classes was implemented. I'm just taking one class, how it was implemented. I introduced this for the postgraduate level module. It had 44 students, diverse range of students, both who had just qualified as graduates as well as matured students. So there was a diverse range, and the students came all across the globe, developed, underdeveloped, as well as developing countries. So why did we take this class? It's because they're matured students. 20 years ago, how many of us had mobile phones? So very few. So we wanted to see how they perceive to this technology. The way it was implemented is 4 quizzes were implemented and 4 push messages. 4 quiz questions, each quiz questions had 3 within them. It was a combination of multiple choice and true and false. And as I said, the feedback is instantaneous. So they get saying that there is a quiz posted and the deadline is this. And once they say, I joined this quiz with a code, they get the first question. Then they get whether it's right or wrong, and this goes on. Say suppose they get 2 right out of 3, and the final one is, the quiz is over, your score is 2 out of 3. Thank you. So in this way, wherever they are, they receive the message. And how does that enable a student to learn? If you look into the literature, Sean, who's wrote a lot about learning and teaching, he suggests 2 types of learning for students: reflection in action and reflection on action. So this has been implemented there. And how did the students behave? All students did not register the first week itself. Firstly, only 23 students out of the 44 got involved. Then a push message was sent saying that this is what was learned in the first class, this is the definition. It was nice meeting you all and hope to see you all next week. So once that was sent, the next week, 32 students got registered. As I said, there was an option, mobile numbers or email. So there was still a phobia, oh, by giving mobile number we might be disturbed. I don't want to give away my private number. However, by week 5, once the quizzes went in, push messages went in, 37 mobile numbers were registered and 2 emails. And again, I should emphasize, this is not the whole number of the students in the class. As I said, there were 44 students, right? So, students, others, did not want to participate.
What were the push messages containing?
Push messages contained of what lessons were learned, key definitions, key like what aspects has to be known regarding a particular lecture.
The quiz will be based on the push message?
No. Quizzes are based on what is taught in the classroom. So 3 lectures are taken, and after that the quizzes are based on each of the lectures. And it is not just straightforward, and that's where I said a lot of thinking from the staff goes into it. Just to wrap up, and I think I'm on the last 2 slides. Once this was done, an evaluation was done as to how they felt. There were 15 questions in all, and various Likert scale to measure their attitudes. And indeed everybody said it did help them to learn, and they felt the messages was just right a number, and that reflected on the statistics that were collected with a mean value less than 2. So what did this research come teaching help in learning of the students? It did help them in 2 ways: reflection in action and reflection on action. What does this mean? Once they go off the classroom, it doesn't mean that they forget and that's it. And mind you, this is a postgraduate level students, and they're not forced to come. They're part-time students. They come all across the country to attend just a Friday evening class. This is a class which runs from 6 o'clock evening on a Friday to 9 o'clock. And the culture is different from India to UK. So you should know what they are putting in terms as well. They're reflecting what lessons were taught. They are answering the questions, and they're getting an instant feedback as well. So they're reflecting, they're learning in their own speed. And with these thoughts, thank you.